Just 6 days earlier, the clay court season had largely written her off. Scouts, analysts, and even casual observers scanned Alexandra Eala's limited dirt resume, exchanged knowing glances, and moved on without a second thought. But Alex never got that quiet dismissal memo. She arrived in Linz carrying the kind of quiet defiance that can't be taught, and she delivered. Her first opponent was dispatched with ruthless efficiency, no drama, no wasted energy. Then came the real test, former French Open champion Jelena Ostapenko. Eala pushed the powerful Latvian to the absolute precipice, separated by a mere 6 points from what would have been one of the most stunning upsets of the young clay campaign. Most players would have used that near miss as an excuse to regroup, perhaps fly home, rest the body, and reset the mind. Not Alexandra Eala. She zipped up her bags, boarded another flight, and marched straight into the prestigious Porsche Tennis Grand Prix in Stuttgart. That choice alone painted a vivid portrait of her character: resilient, ambitious, and unwilling to let disappointment define her momentum. Now fate, or perhaps the tennis gods with their flair for perfect drama, has gifted us an opening round matchup so richly layered, so narratively flawless, that it borders on cinematic fiction. On Monday night, inside the intimate confines of the Porsche Arena in Stuttgart, Germany, Alexandra Eala will square off against Leylah Fernandez on indoor clay. This is no ordinary first-round encounter. It is a collision of trajectories, a clash of heritages, and a pivotal test for two left-handed warriors at very different points in their evolving careers. Let's begin with Leylah Fernandez, because underestimating her would be a serious miscalculation. At 23, the Canadian is already a 5-time WTA champion. She has lifted trophies in Monterrey on 2 separate occasions: Hong Kong, Washington, D.C., a prestigious WTA 500, and Osaka. Her breakthrough remains etched in collective memory. As an 18-year-old in 2021, she transformed the U.S. Open into her personal theater. She toppled Naomi Osaka, outlasted Angelique Kerber, defeated Elina Svitolina, and engaged Aryna Sabalenka in a brutal, physical war in the semifinals before falling to Emma Raducanu in a final that captivated the entire sporting world. That run was never about luck. It was an 18-year-old announcing with every fearless shot exactly who she intended to become. Fernandez's career-high ranking climbed to world number 13, and she has lingered comfortably inside the top 15. She speaks multiple languages fluently, carries herself with poise beyond her years, and captured the 2019 Roland Garros Junior title, etching her name as the first Canadian to win a junior Grand Slam since Eugenie Bouchard. Guided by her father Jorge, a coach who sculpted her game from the ground up with an emphasis on aggressive intent, tactical versatility, and an unrelenting competitive edge, she has long been viewed as a complete package. Yet the 2026 season has been unkind to her. Heading into Stuttgart, Fernandez sits at a sobering 4-9 record. Early exits have become the norm across Brisbane, Adelaide, the Australian Open, Abu Dhabi, Doha, Dubai, Indian Wells, and Miami. The sparkling confidence that once made her dangerous in the biggest arenas seems dimmed, replaced by visible frustration and unanswered questions. She is still ranked number 25 in the world, and her experience gives her every right to be considered the favorite on paper. But form tells a different story, one of a player searching for rhythm and self-belief at a moment when both feel elusive. Across the net stands a far more encouraging picture for Alexandra Eala. The 20-year-old Filipina brings a respectable 15-9 record into this week. She has already enjoyed strong showings in Auckland, reached the quarterfinals in Abu Dhabi and Dubai, and battled her way to the 4th round at both Indian Wells and Miami. Impressive scalps line her recent path: victories over Donna Vekic, Jasmine Paolini, and Diana Yastremska. Her ranking has steadily climbed to a career high around no. 45-46, and the arrow continues pointing upward. There is a palpable hunger in her game, a raw, youthful drive that cannot be manufactured in the gym or bought with experience. Every point she plays feels charged with purpose. What elevates this matchup from compelling to genuinely historic is the shared Filipino connection that binds these two athletes. Leylah Fernandez's mother is Filipino-Canadian, and Fernandez has spoken with genuine pride about embracing both her Filipino and Latina heritage. Alexandra Eala, born and raised in the Philippines, carries her nation's flag with unmistakable passion. When they step onto the red clay of the Porsche Arena, they will make history as the first 2 players with Filipino roots to meet in a WTA Tour singles match. For the Filipino diaspora, over 150 million people spread across every corner of the globe, this transcends sports. It becomes a moment of collective pride, cultural celebration, and emotional investment. Fans will tune in from Manila to Montreal, from California to Europe. their hearts united even as their loyalties are divided between two talented young women who both represent pieces of the same rich heritage. The tactical complexity of this contest is extraordinary. Both competitors are left-handed, a statistical rarity that fundamentally alters the geometry and rhythm of the match. In a typical encounter, players rely on deeply ingrained patterns honed against right-handers for thousands of hours. Here, those patterns are inverted. A wide serve to the advantage court, normally a weapon that yanks opponents far outside the lines, instead curves comfortably into a fellow lefty's powerful forehand. Heavy cross-court forehands that usually exploit a right-hander's backhand weakness suddenly feed directly into the opponent's own strongest wing. The entire court feels mirrored, forcing both players to improvise, adapt, and rewire their instincts under live fire. It is as much a psychological chess match as a physical one, demanding mental flexibility on a surface that already rewards patience and precision. In a deeper sense, Fernandez serves as a living mirror of the player Alex is working tirelessly to become. At 23, Leylah has already secured 5 titles and reached a Grand Slam final. Alex, at 20, has yet to claim her first WTA trophy and has not advanced beyond the opening round of a major. Starring across the net at someone who has walked those higher paths creates a unique motivational cocktail, equal parts inspiration and pressure. It is the feeling of confronting a possible version of your own future and deciding, in real time, whether you are ready to accelerate toward it. The match will likely hinge on one critical element, the second serve. In Linz against Ostapenko, Alex's second delivery collapsed entirely, yielding a heartbreaking 0% win rate on those points. Fernandez thrives on stepping aggressively inside the baseline, using her sharp timing and quick hands to punish anything short, slow, or predictable. If Eala's second serve lacks pace, spin variation, or clever placement, Fernandez will seize control immediately and never relinquish it. Fortunately, the team at the Rafa Natal Academy has had nearly a full week to dissect and refine exactly those vulnerabilities. Adjustments to the toss, added kick, better disguise, and more precise targeting could provide the 10–15% improvement needed to neutralize Fernandez's early ball aggression. Alex does not require a flawless second serve to prevail. She simply needs one that is functional and disruptive enough to keep points alive. The playing conditions in Stuttgart further tilt the environment in intriguing ways. The indoor clay at the Porsche Arena is famously consistent. No wind, no glaring sun, and predictable bounces that reward clean timing. The surface tends to play a touch faster than traditional outdoor red clay, which suits Alex's heavy-hitting, baseline-dominating style and her potent return game. This season, she has broken serve in an elite 36.7% of return games, a statistic that signals genuine danger for any server. Fernandez, coming off a modest performance on the very different green clay of Charleston, may need time to adjust her footwork and timing to these specific indoor conditions. Should Eala navigate this high-stakes opener, the draw opens up enticingly. A potential second-round meeting with 5th seed Jasmine Paolini awaits, and Alex has already dismantled Paolini convincingly once this year in Dubai. Further progress could lead toward dangerous names like Alina Diana Sh. Nader, while the deeper path whispers of Iga Swiatek, now collaborating with Francisco Roig, the very coach who helped shape Rafa Nadal's clay court mastery, the same foundational philosophy that underpins Alex's training at the Natal Academy. The interconnectedness of these storylines only adds to the magic. On paper and in the betting markets, Fernandez enters as the favorite, with roughly a 56% implied probability of victory. Her superior ranking, greater experience, and trophy cabinet all support that view. Yet pure numbers fail to capture the intangibles that often decide such matches. They cannot measure the difference between a player grinding through a 4-9 season and one riding positive momentum with 15 wins already secured. They overlook the psychological boost of nearly toppling a Grand Slam champion and then choosing to compete again immediately rather than retreat. And they certainly cannot quantify the invisible fuel that comes from carrying the weight and the dreams of an entire passionate community. This encounter is no longer simply a tennis match. It is the latest chapter in a rapidly unfolding story that began with a statement victory in Linz, survived the emotional test of a 6-point heartbreak against Ostapenko, and now reaches its most dramatic test yet on the pristine indoor clay of Stuttgart. If Alexandra Eala can rise to the occasion, the conversation around her potential will shift irreversibly. She will cease to be viewed merely as a promising hardcourt talent with occasional clay flashes. Instead, she will emerge as a versatile, battle-tested contender capable of adapting, learning, and defeating established elites on any surface. That is precisely the player the Rafa Natal Academy has been meticulously building, one forged in the image of relentless excellence. Two left hands, Two proud hearts connected by Filipino blood, one perfectly prepared indoor clay court, and a moment pregnant with possibility that deserves the full, undivided attention of the tennis world. Monday night in Stuttgart promises to deliver something special. Whether it ends in celebration for the rising star or a much-needed confidence boost for the established name, this matchup will linger in the memory long after the final point is played.